people, great teachers, great network. So that was in 2008-9. Unfortunately, financial crisis happened at that time, and my family was also, my son was just born, just at that time when I went for my MBA. So I also decided to come back to India. I didn't stay back in the UK. So 2010, I came back, joined HCL Technologies, back to IT, worked there for 4 years. And then finally, I decided to, leave the corporate world and jumped onto startups.
Okay.
So since 2014, I've been involved with startups. Initially, I was into business development. Then I was heading a business unit for an IoT startup. Then 2018, we got another chance to move to the UK, and my wife got an opportunity there. I went again. I took a break here, quit my job. Then uh, but with my kind of experience, what I was expecting, it didn't really work out so well. So I decided to come back to India. 2019, I came back, and that's when I joined Rentshare. So Rentshare is again started by some of my Oxford colleagues in 2015, but I joined in 2019. I was heading business category, electronics, and then by end of 2019 is when the CEO decided to step down, and I took over the CEO responsibility. So so 2020 has been my, since I have been heading Rentshare, and of course a lot of turbulence has happened during this time. So it's been an exciting journey. I'm now so let me quickly show something. Okay, I can't share my screen. Raju.
Yeah, Harish, can you allow Mr. Anuj to share the thing? Can you do that?
You are the host.
Okay, I make him a host. Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can share now.
Okay. Yeah. So hope you can see my screen now.
Yeah. People can.
Yeah. So just to
definitely.
give you a context about why Rentshare started. So as we speak, during our times, people were more possessive, and you build a large house, you have a large family, and everything was very, very everybody used to possess the belongings which they got. They used to really uh, long it for a long time, right? So now the trend is extremely different than what we used to have. Right now, everybody wants to have a it's turning towards a shared or a rental economy, right? Whether you call it it started with software, right? So software as a service, then everything as a service. Now it is co-living, working, the shared, the transport, everything is turning towards a shared economy, right? Very few people will own the assets, and rest everybody will use as and when they require, which becomes much easier. So everything will become on a project basis, even work or anything, right? So that's how the whole economy is moving in that direction, right? So that's what we also realized way back in 2015, and that's the whole premise on which this was born. Of course, now with one was the obviously the moving trend which was going in that direction, and second is COVID and other factors obviously help us going in that direction. So if you would have recently noticed, more and more organizations are turning towards work from home, partial workforce or permanent workforce. Some are completely leaving their office premises. So obviously the workforce will be very, very distributed. Everybody would be working in chunks, and doing their work sitting in remote locations, and then somebody will be so a lot of things are happening in that direction. So that's helping us where we wanted to go, right? So more and more people working from home will need more and more devices at different locations where they can continuously operate, right? So this is
So are you sharing the slide?
Yeah, can you can see it, right?
Yeah, guys, Harish, can you see the slides? I am unable to see because I am accessing through mobile.
Oh, yes.
Okay, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, so these are the trends which are helping us go in, meet our objective, which with which the rent share was started. So work from home, renting, which was anyway happening, renting, sharing. So demand for laptops and desktops and other things to work from home is continuously rising, right? So what RentShare does, right? So we are, of course, in renting there are so many things which can happen. Like like I said, it could be software, it could be offices, it could be living, it could be vehicles, it could be furniture, and so many white goods and so many other things, right? But
Yeah.
what we do is we specialize only in IT and AV equipment, which is laptops, desktops, printers, projectors, tablets, LED screens, LED walls, and other AV stuff. Of course, AV is not so much happening right now because all the events are now virtual. But earlier, AV was also a big category which we were targeting, and hopefully, going forward, that will again pick up once we start having these physical events, right?
Yeah.
So these are some of the statistics, for RentShare. So we are again there are few things which have recently changed. So we were earlier a completely asset light model, just a marketplace. So till last year when I joined, we were only a marketplace doing more and more categories across more and more cities. So the objective was going horizontal. So we were doing IT AV, which was a category which I was heading, but we had other categories also, like we were doing events, we were doing medical equipments, we were doing hobby equipments, so we were we wanted to spread more and more with more number of orders and more larger customer base, but within a set light model. But last year we took a certain decisions to for this current growth phase. So we are moving now from a vendor-based model to our own asset model. Of course, it increases a lot of complexities in doing business. We need to have our own team, warehouse, products, and of course the risk is more and other things, right? So, but these are the some of the decisions which we took last year and which we are now going ahead. One is our own inventory model. So we still have partial vendor, partial our inventory, but obviously the chunk of our inventory is growing large and the vendor portion is coming less, becoming less. So as we speak, we have, at any given point today, we have 3,000 plus assets on rent, and it is growing at least 10 to 15% a month. So that's the kind of trend which we are seeing. Of course, COVID helped. Just pre-COVID, we were getting like hundreds of inquiries in a day. So. But unfortunately, we were not really prepared for that kind of growth, and in fact, nobody had anticipated. So suddenly, there was a huge crunch in terms of supply. So everybody was, right from large companies, all the large IT companies to all smaller companies, everybody was looking for these devices on rent for people working from home.
Okay.
So. We got requests from like 1-2 laptops to, let's say, 10,000 laptops also, some of these companies, large companies, right? Unfortunately, we didn't have many devices at that time, which we had procured. We had just started, putting things in place. So we were all, obviously dependent on these vendors who were also taking direct orders, right? So we could not capitalize so much on that growing demand. But having said that, we did, the largest order in RentShare history, 780 laptops in Gurgaon, right in middle of the lockdown. So 15th May, around mid of May, we got that order, and which was executed in next 10, 15 days. So by May end, we successfully did that order with a vendor.
Okay.
But now more and more assets are growing as we speak. So we have close to 600-700 devices which we have procured in last 3-4 months. And like I said, the demand is growing. We are now again seeing demand coming back. On the flip side, yes, some of our customers, regular customers, have started returning assets because they are downsizing. A lot of restructuring is happening with the current customers. There are certain sectors which have, have been badly affected. So sectors like travel, tourism, which were some of our customers, they are really suffering, and they have either completely closed or downsizing. So there are payment delays. Those challenges are happening. But at the same time, like I said, rental technology is such a diverse thing. Every company, big or small, needs IT devices. It's only the mindset whether they want to buy or they want to rent. The third category, so we have various use cases with which we get these customers. Some are, just starting, so they are a 2-member, 3-member team, and they have left their jobs, or part time. They have started a startup, and they want to, just test the water. So they would obviously, at that time, the startups are the best,
Yeah.
target for us, because they are always cost conscious, and they would want to take things on rental
Yeah.
and start small, and then grow, and if it works out, obviously, then there is no limit.
Yes.
So that's how we have also started with many of these startups, which have started small, 10, 20, 30, and then grown up to 100, 200, 300, 400 kind of employees, and hence we have also grown with them.
Okay.
Then there is a second category of customers who may have initially started buying, but then later realize the benefits of renting, and they have moved to us. Then there is a third category of customers who are renting from other local vendors, and then they realize that they face challenges. There is no response. The devices are poor. Service quality is bad, and hence they move on to us. So we, being completely online technology, company, we constantly keep evolving our processes and systems to ensure there is always, ease with which customer can reach out to us. And for renting, one of the biggest concerns is the response time, right? So uh, again, just to give you a little more context, the renting primarily works on old devices, unless it is a long-term lease. But typically, like I said, these are startups, big, small, Series A, pre-Series A, B also. So they are always, conscious about the cost. So they're not really committing for a long-term engagement, right? So they would say 3 months PO, 6 months PO, that kind of thing, right? So for them, they don't commit on long term, hence we don't buy new devices for them. We typically rental works on these old refurbished devices.
Okay.
And that keeps the cost low. When we can buy cheap and give them a service where, we can promise certain uptime, then, it brings a lot of confidence, and then they can move from acquiring assets to renting assets, right?
Okay.
If the product service is bad, if the quality of service is bad, obviously that decision becomes very, very difficult. So
Yeah.
that's where we promise that we are trying to bring better devices, have a quick service time. As soon as something happens, they can log complaint anytime, right? So as long as they can reach out to us by email, WhatsApp, chat, or whatever, right? Immediately the next day the service will be done. Somebody will attend to it. So it's irrespective of whether this, like I said, it's a technology based thing. So you can reach out to us any time of the day, and obviously the next morning it will be attended. So that's the kind of promise and quality of service which we bring for our customers, and that's what shifts people from either other vendors or from buying to us. And of course we give them that price benefit of not buying upfront, saving capex, or investing a lot on the service related stuff, right? So that's the kind of benefit they get from us, and hence we see a lot of renewals, right? So every month, typically every 2 months, 3 months, whatever that PO is, depending on that, a lot of renewals happen, right? So, and we have seen almost 60+% of renewals happening.
Wow.
Earlier we also used to do a lot of B2C, right? So B2C now, when I joined, it was almost 50% B2C and 50% B2B. But again, the focus now is more B2B, which is today we are doing, I think, 90-10 in that ratio, B2B to B2C. And that's where we are now slowly moving completely away from B2C. So we have recently blocked accepting all the free, Gmail, etc. Logins. So we are only accepting proper corporate email addresses, even for a B2C, right? So if an individual has to also order, they need to have an official email address, much like your quick ride, right? So you can't, you need to be verified user, right? So that's where we are also bringing into our platform now. It's already done, so as we speak. So now, there was a lot of risk, lot of defaults which used to happen, a lot of absconding customers. So all that we are trying to remove now.
Okay.
So we have bought, now 2 million plus inventories already deployed. We have also started investing in our own inventory, and we are doing at least 10% plus EBITDA today.
Oh, wow, fantastic. Okay, great.
So these are some of the primary customers which we have. So one is, of course, the largest is startups and SMEs who are very, very price conscious. So right from Ola to ClassClap, Mphase, Mbibe, we have a lot of big names working with us, and on a daily basis we keep getting a lot of inquiries. So this list keeps growing day by day.
Wow, fantastic. Okay. So
yeah,
please go ahead. Any questions, audience?
Hi, Anuj.
Yeah.
Hi. I just went through your presentation, really nice, and I think the concept is really great. I just had a couple of questions.
Yeah, Mridul.
So, you said that Renshare started out as an asset-light model without having any assets of your own, and now you've moved to buying your own assets.
Yes.
So, what happens when after a few years, when your customers return the inventory, right, the assets? Don't you think you're saddled with a lot of dead assets, in the sense obsolete technology or something like that?
See, that's a very valid question, Mridul. But what happens, there is, when we talk about India, there is always some customers who are willing to take, some category of devices, right? So, when, let's say, when as a vendor model, when we used to give, right, there was still demand for i3 4GB laptops, third, fourth generation also, which people were taking at that time also. When we started buying, at least we are not buying, I have not bought a single i3 in my inventory as of now. But I still get, today also I get so many inquiries where people are just worried about, giving something to them which, they can use for very, very basic functionality. So they're not worried about speed, they're not worried about processor, they're not worried about RAM. They just need some basic machine to do some basic work, right? And which keeps the cost low, right? So their budget would be 1,000 rupees a month per laptop, for example, right? So in that budget, obviously I can't give them anything more than what that basic configuration is. Of course, later it may have its own challenges, and that's why I have not invested in those data sets. What I am buying today, of course, after a year or so or 2 years, it will become obsolete. Absolutely agree with your point. But the same customer who's coming for i3 today will come tomorrow for that i5, which is, for which I would have already recovered most of my asset value, right? And anything comes on top of it would be a bonus for me, right? Or I could even sell these assets back in the market. So there would be somebody who's always willing to buy it or take it on rent at a much cheaper price, right? So I, whatever that additional things happens after, see, my typical asset recovery time would be 15 to 18 months, right? Anything post 18 months is a bonus for me. That's how I consider it, right?
Okay.
So that's the whole premise with which we are buying assets today. Like I said, I am still not investing in those assets because it's not just the value or the time period or something, but it's more about the experience also, right? So whenever I speak with somebody, I would never recommend i3, for example, right? i5 also I know is not that great, but at least it gives you basic functionality today. Tomorrow, of course, that may also become obsolete, and then, but like I said, there will be somebody who's always in need of something cheaper and they're not too much worried about, latest gen. Like, if you ask me today also, there is 10th generation in the market, right? But people are still taking 4th, 5th generation from us. My 99% of the inventories are 4th, 5th generation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, it depends on which again is not wrong. Like, I was talking to somebody recently. I said, if for a, let's say, retail chain, somebody sitting on the counter, why does he need a 10th generation machine, right? He can easily do it on a 4th, 5th generation, the same work, right? He has to do what, maybe do one retail application, some accounting, and mostly these things are on web now, right? So you don't even need a good, RAM or something, right? Everything is on the cloud today, right? So, I don't really just, see why somebody needs the latest generation machine every time, right? For any, of course, if you are a developer, if you are doing a high designing stuff, or, those things I can understand. You need the latest machine to be faster, and, you can test a lot of scenarios and other stuff. But as a user, for a lot of these, things, you really don't need to have a latest laptop, right? Your work can still happen on these old devices, right?
All right.
Great.
Just last two questions, if you don't mind.
Sure, Mithun.
Simple questions. Are there any comparable peers in the West for Renshare, like a model which you're following?
In where?
Do you have any other, any competitors or comparable peers of Renshare in the West, for example, the US or the Western countries?
See, there are a lot of players in the market. Of course, I'm not, rental is big, whether it is appliances, whether it is heavy machinery, all these things are, are happening everywhere. I can't recollect the names, but yeah, there are big players who are doing, 100 times our size or 1,000 times our size, right?
Okay.
But if I have to talk about India, there are smaller players, or there are, players who are doing it at a much larger scale than us, but they are not really online technology, not tech savvy. That kind of thing is not there yet.
Okay.
Somebody like Furlanco in this space, no, right? That's
Okay.
our vision, right? So we become like a Furlanco for IT and AV stuff, right? So anybody thinking IT and AV, should think of us. That's the whole intent. But yeah, there are local smaller players, even with multi-city presence. That is also there. But let's say somebody working in the south may be covering south. Somebody working in north may be covering north. Of course, as a platform, it was much easier for us also, because for us it was just onboarding a vendor, either locally who's just serving one city or multiple cities, right? So that time it was much easier. But as we proceed with our own inventory, obviously things will become much more difficult for us also. Every city we set up operations, it becomes a big task for us, right?
Got it.
Okay. Any other question? I will ask one question. Is this multi-brand sharing option for only electronic goods or any other item?
Multi-brand in the sense, I didn't get it.
Multi-brand means it's not just restricted to only something Samsung or
no. So okay, so when it comes to laptops, I think there are three major brands which work. So one is Lenovo, HP, and Dell.
Okay.
And fourth is Acer. So people typically prefer one of these, Dell, HP, or Lenovo, right? And like I said, since it's all refurbished, stuff which comes. So we as a company don't commit on any particular brand, because it entirely depends what is available at that time. Till 4 months back, we had a lot of choice which we used to offer to customers. But today the market is, the supply is so constrained that anything which comes in the market, you really can't commit on any particular brand or
So what is the rate of growth happened last 4 months?
See, it was earlier, it was much easier. We were we had a constant sort of growth which was happening before COVID. But during COVID, there are chunks which happened, right? Suddenly, pre-COVID, lot of things happened, and then next 2 months hardly anything happened, right? Because there was a lockdown, right? Then May suddenly we could get a good order. Then again, let's say next 1 month or so nothing happened. Then July onwards again things started moving, right?
Okay.
So there was not a constant growth, right? Because the supply was not there. Many vendors were not operating at all, right? Because of lockdown. So there was a lot of uncertainty during that time. Even supply was not there. Demand was also in between. People were not available, so they were not really sure how even they can get the delivery and other stuff, right?
Okay. So to meet the sudden demand, you had some forecasting models, or what is the how you manage your inventory?
No, so that part is not there yet, because we are still evolving, and we don't have a lot of data to predict all these things. Of course, that's the idea, that once we have at least 6 months, 1 year kind of data, then we can start building those models around which we can start predicting the growth, or the demand, right? But no, today no, it's all
still you are in the initial stage.
we are still yes.
Okay, fantastic. So there is
Sir,
a huge
one more,
opportunity. Rao, you want to ask?
Yeah, sir, do you have into the construction equipment rental also?
No. So we never had construction equipments in our portfolio. We used to do other things, events and other stuff, but that also we have completely stopped since December. So now we are doing only IT and AV. We launched furniture during lockdown, because a lot of customers were asking for it, since working from home. So employees were looking for furniture for rent. So that was launched. But again, we have not seen a great response there. I'm sure there are other players who are already in that space, so probably people didn't notice us specifically for that, and we didn't market also that well, right? So we were still doing much better in IT and AV, so we didn't put a lot of efforts on this furniture vertical.
Okay. So basically you are focusing more on laptops, correct?
Yeah, all IT equipment, but yes, today the demand is for laptops only. We can say. But we used to do other stuff also, workstation servers. That's also part of the portfolio.
Okay.
So mobile phones. So some of the there are various use cases for each, right? So there are use cases for mobile phones where people are developing some app for, let's say, drivers or security guards, where they need it in bulk, right? So where they need 500,000. But again, there the rental works differently. It's like a lease or rent to own, right? So it's not a rent to return. So typically, most of my business runs on rent and return, right? So you use for 3 months, 6 months. There is no commitment. After that you can return, right? Which was beneficial for many of my customers. Like so during COVID, like many of them started retrenchment, right? So there was no compulsion, right? So immediately they as soon as the lockdown opened, or during lockdown, they said, we have reduced, so please, we are returning 10, 20, 30, devices, right? So that is what typically rent and return happens. Now like for my next set of customers, right, large corporate, they have, of course, one kind of use cases where they are also looking for short-term rentals for a project, for a a certain duration, work from home, or some other specific task, right? So that exactly works like startup, where they are also not giving a long-term commitment. It could be 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, that kind of period. Like today, that kind of demand I'm seeing from a lot of corporate also, right? Most of the people are working from home. They just went back, and now they don't have the company devices. So now to work from home, they need devices, right? So there we are seeing a lot of demand today from many of these companies. But in a regular kind of environment, they used to go for a long-term lease. So instead of these short-term rentals, they used to, the same laptop which they used to buy, instead of buying, they take it on lease now, which is, the new, brand new laptops from the OEMs with OEM warranty and everything. It's just that instead of, they procuring it directly, they take it on lease from companies like us. Right, so it could be a 12-month, 24-month, 36-month kind of a period.
Okay.
Now, good thing is, when we work on such deals, after whatever 12, 24, 36 months, these devices come back to us, and then we can utilize it much better for rental, right? So after 3 years, if I give you a 10th generation laptop, it would still carry a lot of value, right?
Yeah.
So that is the second set of customers which we have. We are not very strong there yet, but good thing is during COVID we got a lot of visibility across these customers. So a lot of conversations are happening today, primarily again for these short-term rentals, but a few are for those long-term lease also. Now, many of them are already working with certain vendors, so it is difficult to break, into that league very soon. But since we have, at least now we have the visibility, the next step is we have started getting small orders. Obviously, the next step is to get, some of these larger deals, 1,000, 5,000 kind of laptops for, their employees when they refresh, right? So anytime they refresh or any new employee joins, that is the time when they will probably start considering us also, if we are already, working with them, right?
Great.
So that is, that has not happened in a big way yet, but yes, that's the next, growth point for us.
Yeah. Okay. So it's fantastic. New area is emerging. I think there is a huge market. India is a huge market.
Right.
Lease itself a huge market, and hardware, even medical devices for emergencies. There is a huge market now because of COVID, and there are many areas.
Many areas. So we. Of course, we didn't want to get into too many things too soon. In fact, we concentrated from a lot of, categories to just one category now. There, like somebody was mentioning, there is manufacturing equipment, construction equipment, there is medical devices, so many things are there. But for us, I think, there is still a lot of scope in what we are doing, right? Before we jump on to other things again, right?
Yeah. Very good, very good. And is operations across the country? You are operating, or you are specific selected?
Yes, no. So we are pan India. We also have operations in Dubai and Saudi, but that's handled by another person there. And again, primarily it was in India. It is IT and AV. In Dubai and Saudi, it is events, right? So they do these large Eid events and company events and other stuff, right? So that was the primary business there, which is badly affected because of COVID.
This COVID, okay.
Yeah, but so we are also trying to do something different there, but it's kind of separate.
You are having some projected, expected growth, something like a turnover you are expecting, some target.
So this year we plan to do at least. I think around 12 million, 2 million is what we plan to do this year.
Oh, okay, great. So you are expecting some venture capitalists to see your model, or you are self-funded everything?
No. So we have investors on board. So Dubai-based investors. So now, since last year, they have also started investing in the assets. So the same investors. Of course, we are trying to look at new investors also. Both equity anyway is still with the same investors. For this debt funding for the devices, we may still consider new partners.
Okay. So you see anything for specifically Indian SMEs opportunities in these areas? Any segments, specific segments? You see any potential?
In terms of
reducing their asset,
so see, like I said, any like today, if I talk, right, all the edtech startups which are growing, right, obviously that's the today's scenario, right? So edtech, health tech are the growing segments today. And like I said, it makes perfect sense for them to partner with us, because they may be hiring in hundreds, right? And we can easily support them. And of course, with this corporate, like I said, all these whether it is IBM or Essilor or so many other companies which are still, their employees are scattered across the country, and they are, somehow they want to make them productive, right? Instead of just sitting idle at home, or whatever, using their personal devices. So they are also, we at least till this year, I'm seeing a lot of potential to grow in that segment, right? Education, for example, education is picking up so much now, right? All the kids are studying from home. So for teachers, for students, so teachers also, since the school doesn't provide, so they are using either their personal phones, tabs, so there also we are already talking to a few big schools. And of course, all the students will definitely need something to, study from home, right? So that's a big potential, as we speak, right?
So I see there is a huge opportunity in bundling. Like, you can bring the skill set, manpower, and the hardware, combination to complete solution for a specific thing. That also that opens up a new segment altogether, for you. Bundling your service with a skilled manpower.
Skilled manpower, obviously, the service part is bundled, right? So if you're taking devices from us, the service aspect is already covered, right? So there is nothing separate you have to pay for it. The devices which you are using, anything happens, a normal wear and tear, it's all covered free of cost. Of course, if there is a damage which is done, then we have to charge for it. But anything normal wear and tear happens, it's all covered.
Okay. So any other questions from other members? So we are having a maximum 3 minutes. Please ask questions. We can go to the next session. Request members to ask.
Can I ask one question?
Please go ahead.
On the asset-specific investors, are you accepting any channel of investing like that?
Yeah. So we are already talking to a few people. Because assets, the demand is really growing, and instead of again vendor model, we would prefer to have our own inventory, because that gives us a larger control, and the whole customer experience can be given much better if we have that end-to-end control over the asset, as right from customer acquisition to the assets to service to closure, right? So that becomes end-to-end solution which we can provide. So obviously, we are looking for, more investors to grow the assets.
Do they own the asset, or do you own the asset? Or how
we own this? We own this, as in we own the asset. We give them the returns, right? So whatever has been agreed month on month or whatever, right? So they get that interest along with the principal.
So they are investing only money, that's all. Okay. You're saying, though they are asset specific, but they're not related to any, they're limiting to any specific asset.
Yeah, basically because we are running the business, so we know what is the demand, what is, what is, like somebody was asking about forecasting, right? I would know what is my current demand for next at least month, 2 months, right? Which I know from my experience what people are typically wanting, right? And what kind of pipeline I have. So depending on that, we would know what assets to buy, from where to buy. So everything we will do, only money is something which we are expecting from somebody, right?
Okay. That's all. Thank you so much. Very nice. Good business model. Thank you so much.
Okay. So fantastic, guys. If anything is there, we can share the details. I will share the thing. If anything is contact details and all, I'll share. So thank you so much, Mr.
I think somebody else had a question. Raju?
Sridhar, you want to ask question?
Yeah, I had a question.
Please ask.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, will you take care of the integrity and data security of the assets,
sorry?
because how do you take care of data integrity and data security? Because any asset which comes back, you can always retrieve the data.
Yeah, that's again a valid question. We, as in, we have certain standards which we follow. I don't recollect the exact term which is taken care, but obviously the data security becomes important for our customers. Again, there are, if not to get into too much discussion, a lot of people don't really bother about it. In the same way, a lot of people are not even bothered about the original OS, right? So again, majority of my customers are startups today, and they're worried about the cost. That's one of the biggest concerns for them. So even spending something additional on the original OS is something which they want to avoid, right? So similarly, data security, very few customers have really shown a lot of emphasis on it. But wherever, in certain cases, even, some customers have kept the hard disk back with them, right? So after using for 6 months, 9 months, they said, whatever, they have a US based customer, so they can't really, that hard disk cannot be taken out from their premise, right? So they've just kept the hard disk back with them and given the rest of the stuff back to us. Of course, they have paid for it, right? So again, it depends on the kind of customer and what they expect, right? Depending on that, we can work around that.
Yeah, customized thing, very specific to their requirement. They just find.
Yeah, so in many cases, let's say, the customers say that now we are used to these devices, our employees are all using, so we don't even want to return it. We want to buy it, right?
Okay.
So after using for 6 months, 9 months, now they say, we want to buy it, right?
Okay.
Probably, their people are used to it. The companies, sort of done, established, and they are stable. So they say, okay, now we want to buy it. So that has also happened in certain cases.
Okay, great. So thank you so much, Mr. Anuj, for your time and your effort for coming to this platform and sharing your ideas and your model. And we will be in touch, and definitely will invite you for the next some more sessions like this in the future. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Really enjoyed talking to you guys.
Thank you.